Welcome to the Downstate kitchen, where all the meals are prepared for patients, staff, and visitors. This is the nutrition team, and we are going to be preparing a grain bowl, also known as a Buddha bowl. This is a no recipe, so follow along to learn how to make your own grain bowl. So Maddie here is chopping the sweet potatoes into squares. She is making sure to keep her fingers tucked like a bear claw and cutting the sweet potatoes pretty small. The smaller they are cut, the quicker that they will cook in the oven and a little bit more flavor that will come out when they're finished. She is lightly salting them with a coarse kosher salt, and we also added a little bit of olive oil, and there's Anne placing them into the oven. The next thing we are going to prepare is the dressing. We are going to be making a vinaigrette, and the first thing that we're gonna prep is the shallot. So we are going to mince the shallot, which means cutting it into very small, fine pieces, and we're gonna mix everything into a mason jar. This makes it super easy, and if you have leftover dressing, it's already in a great container to store. We are then adding lemon juice, which serves the role as the acid. You could also use any type of vinegar. My favorite would be a red wine vinegar. And then we're adding olive oil, and we also added some honey mustard. The honey and the mustard act as an emulsifier to blend everything together into a yummy vinaigrette. We are adding some more veggies to our grain bowl, and we have carrots here, and Maddie is chopping them into a julienne, which is similar to a matchstick. You could also grate them or use a vegetable peeler to kind of cut them into ribbons. We also have some red onion that will be added raw. If that doesn't work for you, feel free to cut them, to roast them or soak them in water or pickle them. We are now going to add rice as the base of our grain bowl. You could use any grain you like. We have brown rice here that was made in the rice cooker. You could also add farro, quinoa, wheat berries, couscous, really whatever you like. And then we are going to add the spinach. If you prefer your green to be a little wilted, you can mix it with the warm grain, and that's gonna cook the spinach, the kale, the arugula, whatever green you like, so it's a little softer and easier to chew. And we're adding the rest of the vegetables, making a nice presentation, because before we eat with our mouth, we eat with our eyes. So preparing a meal that is aesthetically pleasing is a crowd pleaser. So our sweet potatoes are nice and brown, and we are also going to add some chickpeas, which were roasted in the oven with olive oil and salt. And we also have a seed mixture of pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds. Those were also roasted in the oven. If you do not want to roast the seeds or the beans, they can be totally added raw. The toasting or roasting process really just brings out a nutty flavor from the seeds and makes the chickpeas a little crisp, adding a nice texture and a little bit of extra flavor. So the onions are going on top. like I said earlier, you could pickle them or soak them in water and then strain out the water if raw onions is a little too much for you. And then we are topping it with cilantro. We love topping our recipes, our grain bowls with an herb. You could also add parsley or basil, or kind of omit that. This is a no recipe, so look at these as all recommendations for you to take to make your own meal. And we are now adding our dressing to the top. And you can always add more dressing if you're making this for someone else. So you can kind of go light and then add a little bit more as you go. And we have leftover dressing, and we already have it stored in a container for the fridge. Our grain bowls are complete, and they are ready to be shared with a friend. It's always more enjoyable to eat a meal with someone else. So we hope you enjoyed this recipe for grain bowls.